Hi everyone. Over the last few weeks I have been digging into my Mobius pedal an awful lot and have discovered a few cool little uh, tricks and tips, I guess you would call them. Uh, and one of them I wanted to share with you today is about the tremolo functions of the Mobius. We all know that there's basically two different Trem machines on a Mobius. There's the vintage Trem right here, and there's the pattern Trem. Most of us that use Trem a lot with the Mobius, well, at least as far as I can tell from looking at YouTube, most of us use the vintage Trem. It is the more natural kind of Trem setting, and it has three modes, and between them you can get a very nice Trem sound, straight out of the box without any kind of issues. If you want a very choppy Trem, most people go to the Photo Trem, which is the third Trem engine. What I have discovered, though, is that there is kind of a secret, if you want to call it that, third Trem option that most people don't realize exists on their Mobius, at least as far as I can tell. And that is in the pattern Trem itself. If we go into the parameters of the pattern Trem, oops, oh, what am I doing? If we go into the parameters of the pattern Trem, sorry, I'm doing this through the camera and that makes everything quite odd. The first thing we find is wave shapes, and we'll look at that in a second. But then we have this whole series of beats. Now what I have done here is, on beat 1, I have just set it to pattern 1. But then on beat 2 and all the subsequent beats, it's set to blank. And if we come down here, we see this is set to pre. But I'll talk about that again in a minute. So anyway, beat 1 is the only one that I have anything set on. And right now, I have these two parameter knobs assigned. So this is set to beat 1, and it's basically setting what the subdivisions of beat 1 is, and this is set to the wave shape. So what that means is, I'm just going to grab my guitar. If I set beat 1 to 1, and the wave shape to, let's find something very easy to see, pulse, I get something like this. Sorry, I have the depth up a little bit. Let me turn this up a bit. So it's a very normal kind of digital Trem sound. However, where this gets really cool is I can change these to be more interesting. So I'll change this to ramp, turn the speed way down. See what we get. It's almost like a rhythmic swell function, like something that you could get in an auto swell. Kind of interesting effect. It might be a bit more obvious if I turn the speed. Now, if I go here though, let's put it back up to something really obvious. With pulse, if I go here and go up to 3, starting to see what's going on here. And of course, if I do something like this, go back to normal Trem. As I hope you could see, it's just extremely, extremely flexible. mentioned I was going to say something about pre and post, and I know a lot of Mobius users are unwilling to wire their board for pre and post for whatever reason. And I just wanted to give a very brief example of why I have wired my board pre and post, and basically what that's all about. So I have my delay pedal here, the Fantastic Echoition 2, and so I basically have the same preset going in this slot and this slot, but this one is pre and this one is post. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this preset here. Now, to make this a little bit more obvious, I'm going to come here and make this the beats 3. Go back here, so that's the pre one. Back here to post. Put this one to 3 as well. Whoops. So anyway, I hope that's helpful to some folks who have who like me, honestly, avoided the pattern trem for a long time, thinking, it's a cool effect, but how would I ever use that in a song? But once I realized it was basically just a very kind of advanced digital trem, I started using it all the time, and I feel like, especially after assigning the 2 parameters to those the 2 parameter knobs to those 2 parameters, and setting up a pre and a post version, it's just the most flexible trem I've ever come across in my entire life. And I actually use it now more than the vintage trem. So there you go. Hope that's helpful. I'm going to make some more of these in the coming days and weeks to explore a few more cool things that maybe you haven't stumbled across yet in your Mobius. Okay, hope that's a help to people. Cheers. Or thank you.